no name, just the character of the people and that type of thing. So I think we had a good time doing it and learned a lot about the disciples. And I'm actually going to continue about Jesus' call to discipleship, because that's what we started talking about on Wednesday night. And I'm going to read, and this is actually, we won't have the scripture up there because I'm reading from the Life Application Bible, New Living Translation, and we don't have that on our system. But I'm going to be reading from Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. Give you time to turn there. Can we stand for the reading of God's Word? One day, as Jesus was preaching on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, great crowds pressed in on him to listen to the word of God. He noticed 2 empty boats at the water's edge, for the fishermen had left them and were washing their nets. Stepping into one of the boats, Jesus asked Simon, its owner, to push it out into the water. So he sat in the boat and taught the crowds from there. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Now go out where it is deeper and let down your nets to catch some fish." "Master," Simon replied, "we worked hard all last night and didn't catch a thing. But if you say so, I'll let the nets down again." And this time their nets were so full of fish they began to tear. A shout for help brought their partners in the other boat, and soon both boats were filled with fish and on the verge of sinking. When Simon Peter realized what had happened, he fell to his knees before Jesus and said, "Oh Lord, please leave me. I'm too much of a sinner to be around you." For he was awestruck by the number of fish they had caught, as were the others with him. His partners James and John, the sons of Zebedee, were also amazed. Jesus replied to Simon, "Don't be afraid. From now on, you'll be fishing for people." And as soon as they landed, they left everything and followed Jesus. Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for your word. I pray that you would speak through me, these lips of clay, Lord, and speak to the hearts of all of us who are here this morning, that we may get from this message what you'd have us to receive. In Jesus' precious name, amen. Okay, you may be seated. As we were reading in that passage of scripture, Jesus was preaching on the shore, and he asked Simon and to go out a little way, and then he sat down in the boat and he continued to preach. He was already preaching, but that tells me he probably needed to get some distance between him and the people so that he could preach. And even though Simon and the other professional fishermen, had fished all night and everything, hadn't caught anything, when Jesus got them preaching, he told them, go on out. And they were obedient to Jesus' command. Now, we need to look at it this way. They were the professionals, weren't they? They were the fishermen. They would have said, hey, they could have said, we know exactly what we're doing. We know we've been out there all night. We haven't caught any fish. Going out there probably by this time it could have been the heat of the day, may have not been the appropriate time to do that, but nevertheless, they were obedient, and they were surprised. Obviously, they were surprised. They weren't expecting that. But the thing of it is that Jesus used this as an example of what he was trying to tell them. They had caught so many fish that the nets were getting ready to break, and they needed help to get the nets up out of the water. And when we think about this, and he was talking about that they were going to be catching people, I would think that would have brought some excitement. Look, we've caught all these fish. And what does it mean about we're going to be catching people? These men were unaware of everything that Jesus was saying, but the thing of it is, he said to follow him, and their response was spontaneous. They didn't discuss any kind of a contract or terms and conditions of the call, as we might have nowadays. If someone is asked to come to pastor a church, I'm sure they're going to pray about it, but they're going to find out first, well, where is this church and what kind of pay will I get and what will you cover for me, and that type of thing. Isn't that what typically, I mean, I've never had that experience to be called or even be a part of being on a committee, except for one time when we were calling a pastor, and that was when we were in Kentucky. So they simply just listened to what Jesus said and they followed him. And you know, Jesus' call to discipleship does require a response and an understanding of true discipleship. The thing of it is that these disciples had no clue. They didn't know what that was going to require, and they didn't understand at that time what true discipleship was, but they were willing. And that's what we have to remember about the disciples, how they answered. Jesus was the caller, and the would-be disciples, that was Jesus' reason for calling them, was for them to take the initiative that Jesus had given them. We give the response, but sometimes we don't give the response that God is wanting to hear. There are other ways that we can respond by immediately starting to bring people to church or things like that when we become a Christian. In response to what Jesus was calling, the scripture says that Philip found Nathanael and shared the good news of Christ, and Peter and Andrew immediately left their nets and followed him. Matthew rose and followed him. The dramatic response of these men to Jesus' call is really, I think, too hard for most people to understand. Even in today's society, you know, I've heard of doctors, very wealthy doctors, giving up their practice and going to the mission field. And I've heard of other people doing that, giving up we had some really good friends. He was a doctor. She worked for an attorney as we lived in Kentucky. And they both had gone to Trevecca Nazarene University, and they felt the call to go to Papua New Guinea. And he went as a medical missionary, and his wife was there to help teach. Their two sons had to be sent. There was no school there for them, and they had to be sent away, and they didn't see them for weeks at a time. And these young boys were having to get used to that. So it's happening today. And, you know, you don't know, sometimes when a family makes that decision, how did the boys feel? Did they have a choice in it? Or did they just have to respond to what the parents were doing? So what would happen to you or to me if this, you know, if all of a sudden we felt Jesus calling us to something? What would our response be? Would we do like I did and say, well, yes, Lord, I really feel your call, but I can't quit my job and go to college. I can't go to Mount Vernon to take these classes. You know, that was my first thought. I can't do that because we can't afford for me to do that. And so sometimes then God just shows you the way. And of course, that's what happened, because I found out I could take the classes right here in Parkersburg, that, you know, there would be one or two at that time. There were a couple of them who were actually in this area of the ministers who were teaching those classes, and that was a wonderful thing for me. But the disciples had both positive and negative attributes. On the positive side, when Jesus called them, they immediately left everything and followed him. But in spite of all this, they didn't know what they were getting into. Jesus, I'm sure, had an understanding just by meeting them immediately, the type of people they were. But the thing of it is, they did have some shortcomings. They did have failures. And we never want to be discouraged and think, well, I said I would take this position, or I said I would do this in the church, and I'm not doing a very good job. I feel really discouraged about the whole thing. I don't even know whether I want to be considered again to do that. But if people voted for you and they prayed about it, and you prayed about it in the beginning, and God called you, then he's going to help get through that. So anyway, like the 12 tribes of Israel, Jesus chose 12 disciples to be the nucleus of a new Israel. And when Peter asked Jesus what they would get since they had left everything to follow him, this is what I'm going to read. And you know what? I forgot to. We're going to go. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go to Matthew and read just a couple of verses out of there if you would want to follow that. Matthew, chapter 19, verses 28 to 30. Whenever Peter asked, what are we going, it's kind of like, what are we going to get out of this, God, or Jesus? What are we going to earn? We've lost our living. That is basically what he was saying. But Jesus replied, I assure you that when the world is made new and the Son of Man sits upon his glorious throne, you who have been my followers will also sit on the 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And then he went on to say, and everyone who has given up houses or brothers or sisters or father or mother or children or property for my sake will receive 100 times as much in return and will inherit eternal life. And so that's what we need to think about. And what am I going to give up? And when we really should be thinking as Christians, Lord, what do you need me to give up in order to follow you and obey your will? So we have a little bit of an idea based on what we talked about Wednesday night and then what we've already heard this morning about the disciples, that these were men that were not 100% ready. I mean, I've had my classes. I'm not 100% ready to preach a lot or to pastor a church. God would help me, and he is helping me, but we have to learn, don't we? We have to have an understanding. And I'm going to also read from John, the 21st chapter. I'd like to read this as well. This is actually on into when Jesus appears to the seven, appears to the disciples. And this is in John, the 21st chapter, 1 through 14. And of course, this is after, his crucifixion. He said, Jesus, this is when they were greedy, they were at the disciples had decided to go fish. But later, Jesus appeared again to the disciples beside the Sea of Galilee. This is how it happened. Several of the disciples were there: Simon, Peter, Thomas, nicknamed Twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 other disciples. Simon Peter said, I'm going fishing. We'll come too, they all said. So they went out in the boat, but they caught nothing all night. At dawn, Jesus was standing on the beach, but the disciples couldn't see who he was. He called out, Fellas, have you caught any fish? No, they replied. Then he said, Well, throw out your net on the right-hand side of the boat, and you'll get some. So they did, and they couldn't haul in the net because there were so many fish in it. Now, at that point, I have wondered, why did the disciples, when they heard this man that they couldn't maybe see really well from where they were, say that to them? Why didn't they say, That's Jesus? He did this before. But the disciples, the disciple that Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." When Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on his tunic, for he had stripped for work, jumped into the water, and headed to shore. The others stayed with the boat and pulled the loaded net to the shore, for they were only about 100 yards from shore. When they got there, they found breakfast waiting for them, fish cooking over a charcoal fire and some bread. "Bring some of the fish you've just caught," Jesus said. So Simon Peter went aboard and dragged the net to the shore. There were 153 large fish, and yet the net hadn't torn. Have you ever wondered how long it took to count those fish? They knew exactly how many. It just kind of amazes me when I read that. "Now come and have some breakfast," Jesus said. None of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Then Jesus served them the bread and the fish. This was the third time Jesus had appeared to his disciples since he had been raised from the dead. So, as I started to mention earlier, this was right after, after he had been crucified and he'd risen from the dead, and how quickly the disciples went back to what they had been doing. Fishing and things like that. And they needed some guidance. They needed to know what to do. And the only thing they knew what to do, how to do, was to go back fishing. So anyway, Jesus was inviting them to breakfast. Now, I want to share something with you. I'm going to read a little bit more of the scripture in a minute, but I want to share this with you. Back a few years ago, we did an Easter cantata drama at Broadway. Paul played the part of Peter. And anyway, the scene where Jesus was with them, had come to them, had fixed the dinner for them and everything, that was a part of it. And then there was something that happened that really overwhelmed me, and it wasn't new to me. I had heard the story, but to see it reenacted, and I know I'm saying it was Paul, but Paul seemed to just really understand what he needed to say and how he needed to say it to Jesus as Peter might have done. But anyway, I'm going to continue on there in 21 verses 15 and 16. And after breakfast, Jesus asked Simon Peter, "Simon, son of Jesus, do you love me more than these?" That's why it's got to me. "Yes, Lord," Peter replied. "You know I love you." "Then feed my lambs," Jesus told him. Jesus repeated the question, "Simon, son of God, do you love me?" "Yes, Lord," Peter said. "You know I love you." "Then take care of my sheep." A third time he asked him, "Simon," and I'm going on through verse 17. A third time he asked, "Simon, son of John, do you love me?" Peter was hurt that Jesus asked the question a third time. He said, "Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you." Jesus said, "Then feed my fish." And God spoke to me. This was actually, when it hit me, was we were doing a rehearsal. It wasn't during the actual performance. We were doing a rehearsal. And I was teaching the adult Sunday school class at that time. And I felt so strongly that God wanted me to teach my adult Sunday school class lessons on discipleship and evangelism. And we spent several weeks in that, learning how to do that and how we need to reach out to people. And I just felt like that God, that was the time. Because the way the class reacted to it, it wasn't like, "Oh no, don't tell me we're going to have a lesson on discipleship and evangelism." They responded. So, and it started fairly soon after the Easter drama, so it was fresh on their minds as well, what we had reenacted. But like the disciples, Jesus is telling us, feed my fish, be my servant. Being God's servant requires more than doing things that are right. And we talked about this a little bit this morning in Sunday school. Not just doing things that are right in the sight of God, but it requires doing them with a true heart. A heart filled with God's presence, His wisdom, and His guidance. So, what does a heart dedicated to serving Jesus and feeding His sheep reveal? And I've got some A words. To me, that means that's the top. You always, when you're in school, you always love to have an A or an A plus or whatever. But these are my A words. And so the first one is attitude. Service must also be in our minds, which may require a mental shift in our attitudes. A mindset which thinks more about others than about themselves. Philippians 2:4 tells us to forget about ourselves long enough to care for others. And when we stop focusing on our own needs, we become aware of the needs around us. How easy is it for us to quit focusing on our needs? Not the easiest thing to do, is it? Because it's especially, like the husbands of the family and the wives too nowadays, they feel like we have to provide for our family. I have to work. And I have to do this, and I don't have time to take off from work and go do these things. So you think about a lot of these things, but Jesus, what we need to think about is Jesus gave up everything, and He became a servant. And when was the last time we ever gave up everything for someone else's benefit? Can you think of anybody that you ever gave up everything for? So servants think like stewards. We talked about that last week, not owners. Stewards of our time, our talent, and our money. And God has entrusted us with these resources. And Connie shared that. I don't know if you were here Sunday night, she shared in her testimony how she got a little discouraged and she'd held back her tithe. And she said that as time went on, she felt like she was struggling more. They were struggling more financially. And, we have to be stewards of it. God has, it's biblical that we pay our tithes, and God's going to use those. And we cannot, if they're not used in the way they should be, it's not our fault. We've done what God's called us to do. So God has entrusted these resources to us. And so how are we handling them? Are we giving them back to Him for His use? Or are we retaining ownership of them? Sometimes you don't know what to do, but I remember so clearly when we moved to Kentucky, we had not sold our house in Charleston, but we had already bought our house in Kentucky, and so we were actually taking care of two economies, two different states that we were in. And my job that I got, the salary was much less than what I was making in Charleston. Paul's was a little bit more, but it didn't quite even out. And the first year we were down there, we were really tight on money. And they had a Holy Week services at one of the churches there. And we were in such bad shape. We had two vehicles, but we couldn't drive both vehicles. We didn't have the gas to put in it. And so Paul actually drove, when he went to work, drove right past where I worked. And he said, he called me. And so he would drop me off at work, and he called me that day for lunch and to talk to me about. He said, Linda, he said, there's a Holy Week service this week. And he said, I know we've talked about lunch. He said, you want to just forget about lunch? And he said, we'll be okay, won't we? And I said, we'll be fine till dinner. And he said, we'll go to the service. And I said, okay. So we went to the first service, and that church was packed, all different denominations. And they announced at the end, now for all of those who have not, you're working, we know you're working and everything. So we've got lunch for everybody. So every day our lunch was taken care of. And then in the meantime, we had a paycheck come in and everything. And I had, it was Easter time, obviously. We prior to that, we had maybe some cool weather. And we had a little cold snap, and I got my coat out of the closet. And I stuck my hand down in my pocket of that coat, and I thought, what is that? That's money. And I pulled it out, and I don't know why I had it in my pocket. I never put my money in my pocket. But counting change and everything, had almost $30. And so it's like, we went to church. We went for those Holy Week services, and God really blessed us, and He provided for us. So He will provide for us. Servants think about the work that God has called them to do, not what others are doing. They don't compare or criticize or compete with them or their ministries. Let me say that again. Servants think about the work that God has called them to do, each one of us individually, not what others are doing. But sometimes we feel like we have to tell somebody how to do something. This is saying, we should never compare or criticize or compete with other people, the people who have in other ministries. Time spent doing that could be spent ministering to others. Real servants trust God and keep serving. We need to remember that. And if we serve like Jesus, we can expect to be criticized. You can count on it. You're not going to do the right thing all the time, and people will criticize you. Servants base their identity in Christ. We just need to remember that by grace we are loved and accepted, so we don't have to prove our worth. Jesus knows who He was. He knew who He was, so He didn't allow the task of washing feet to threaten His message. I mean, how many people would feel compelled to wash people's feet these days? I don't even hear of it being done. What it has started happening, and I can understand this because I did it myself when we were in Kentucky. I did a service, and I did it. And the pastor's wife knew I was doing this, and he doing this particular message, and she said, I've got something I'd like to suggest for you to do. And we did hand washing, because typically that's what we do. We use our hands more than we do our feet now. And she said, and when we did that, we were actually sharing, looking at each other's eyes, smiling, crying, hugging. So, it's not anything that we should ever be embarrassed about. But if we're really going to be a servant, we must settle our identity in Jesus Christ. And I think that was just kind of something a little bit we talked about too this morning in Sunday school, that we need to identify with Jesus and who He is. And that's, regardless of what we have to endure, we need to understand that. And talking to the Corinthians about bragging about what they've done, Paul said, you may brag about yourself, but the only approval that counts is the Lord's approval. Servants think of ministry as an opportunity, not an obligation. Never, ever feel like, I have to go to church today. What will people think if I don't go to church today? I have to do that. I have to be there so I can get this done. You want to be here because you need to get this done. And I think if we all had that mindset, we'd have a packed church, because we'd be reaching out to bring others in, and we'd be coming ourselves. And I'm preaching to the choir. There have been times, I'm not just preaching to you, I'm preaching to me, that the thing of it is that sometimes you say, well, I just don't feel really good tonight. And, but if I'd had to go to work, I probably would have gone to work. So, we think about those things, but we should serve the Lord with gladness. So our attitude should be the same as that of Jesus Christ. Now, if we are to have an attitude like Jesus, then what should our heart be like in serving him? A heart dedicated to serving Jesus and feeding his sheep, it requires attention. We should always look for ways to help others. Galatians 6:10 tells us we should help people whenever we can, especially for the family of believers. Their needs are not to be placed at the bottom of our to-do list. I don't know, and I can just say this from personal experience, a lot of times when there is sickness or a surgery or there's a death or something in the family, we'll start out early on contacting, sending cards, or calling or something, and how you doing, and we're praying for you. But as time goes on, it kind of drops off, doesn't it? I think we've all been there. I had knee surgery, and I don't think I got a call at all. Of course, I was away from church. I don't think I got a card. I think I got a couple of calls, and that was from the family. So, we need to take care of each other. We need to support and uplift each other, and we need to provide that attention. But the needs are really up there, not at the bottom of our list. We can't say, well, when I get all this done, then I'll go do that, because there's always something else that gets added to the list, isn't there? So we must be sensitive to the needs of others. Sometimes those opportunities may pass quickly. Sometimes we may not get another chance. Paul several times has said, someone had passed away, and he said, I thought to myself here not very long ago, I need to call him, or I need to call her, or I need to go by. And he said, I didn't do it. And I told him, I said, well, Paul, I said, we're all like that. And I said, don't beat yourself up over it. But I said, hopefully together, we can remember that and make a point to get out to see people. So we never know when we may not get another chance to serve or feed that person. And I know I've shared this briefly before, but the whole time last year that Paul was in the hospital, clear up. As a matter of fact, it's been 7 months today that he passed away. But there were girls that I work with. They're good Christian girls, but they're good people too. And they would prepare food for me because they knew I was going straight from work to the Arbors to see Paul, or to the hospital if he was there. And a lot of times I'd go Wednesday night to church, and then I'd go straight up there as soon as church was over on Sunday morning and be with him, till service in the evening. And they knew that, and they said, you're probably not eating right. Are you cooking any meals? I said, not at the time of the night I get home, I wouldn't be. And so they started preparing meals for me, and they would do like casseroles. And they would make like an 8 or a 9-inch casserole, and I could split it up and have enough, usually to bring on Monday, and I would have something for lunch for Tuesday through Friday. More of a meal type thing, and then that evening I could get by on something light. That was actually, and they were faithful. It wasn't like they started it and then all of a sudden it dropped off. They kept it up until Paul passed away. And there was one that still brought something to me after that. They said, we know that you're probably not feeling like going home and eating, and we want you to keep your health up and everything, so we're going to continue to do that. And they did for a couple of weeks. But anyway, I said, I'm okay. I appreciate it, and it was great. But the thing of it is that we need to remember that we need to reach out to people to show deep love and concern. They need to feel that. They need to know that we're not doing something because we think it's an obligation, but because we care. And so we need to give that attention. Well, a heart dedicated to serving Jesus and feeding his fish means we must be available. We should be like soldiers, always standing by for duty. Real servants do what's needed, even if it may not be convenient. If we remind ourselves of this every day, wake up every morning, I don't know what my day is going to be like today, but help me. Help me to be able to be available for whatever I need to do. We need to dedicate ourselves as God's servants. People need to see that in our lives. And when interruptions to our schedules won't frustrate us as much as they might have in the past, when we realize, hey, I'm doing this because this is my duty as a servant of God. When we are dedicated to God, we do everything he asks with all our hearts. And when we are faithful to his calling, then we are committed. We never know what opportunity or possibility may come our way to serve. We don't know. And we don't know what's going to hit us today that would give us an opportunity to serve. Even on a short notice or in a time of a busy schedule, we must be faithful to God's calling. And then a heart dedicated to serving Jesus and feeding his sheep has a heart of affection or love. Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? I don't know whether you all have ever seen the movie, the Forrest Gump. Did you see that? Okay, well, you're familiar with it, but young boy Forrest was stricken by a disease that afflicted his legs, and he was actually fitted with braces. And one day when Forrest and his playmate were on their way home from school, some of the boys in the neighborhood, and if you saw it, you remember, they started to throw rocks at him. Well, as Forrest innocently looked at the boy, his little girlfriends understood that all people are not kind and loving. Run, Forrest, she yelled, run. Forrest loved and respected his friends, so he obeyed. He ran and kept running. Soon he found his braces a hindrance and abandoned them. With stronger legs than he could have hoped for, he was able to outrun his enemies. From that story, we can learn an important lesson that when we obey God, who's our friend, he gives us the strength to keep on going and doing. Never give up. Always know he's going to be there. But another lesson is that all children of God and the idea of throwing rocks at anyone because they are different is wrong. We talked about that a little bit, about people being different. And as Christians, we need to still show that we care. We care for people. And sometimes it's a little hard, but I think if we do that, they can see Jesus in us. If we are living a repented life with God through Jesus Christ, we must be willing to love, and each person we meet, to want God's best for those people, and to teach that God is love. We are all children of God, and to that extent, every man is our brother in Christ, and every woman is our sister in Christ, and a potential sheep to be fed. We cannot say we love Jesus and not have a place in our heart to love one another. There was a book that I used for lessons in the class that I taught, that I shared about a while ago. And the book was called When Goliath Doesn't Fall. And there's a story in there about this lady, and she was a grandmother. And she suffered, and nowadays that could be young, but she was a little bit older, and she suffered from severe arthritis in her knees and hip injury, who at 4:30 in the morning would drive to the local high school where she worked as a cook in the cafeteria. Cooking for those kids was what made her happy. During the 5-mile drive, she would pray for her family, her friends, and neighbors, and with a final request that God would use her that day at school as she ministered with food, smiles, and a desire to know each one of those more than 400 students. She wanted to know each one as an individual. She found out what the students who worked in the cafeteria liked and would provide them with a surprise gift on their birthday. She watched for opportunities to give a word of encouragement, good luck, congratulations, as they passed through the lines. Many of them began to open up to her and share the things that troubled them. while she leaned on the lunch cart to get her through the day, and then on her cane to get her back and forth to her car. Her heart was where her treasure was, and her treasure was in serving those kids in every way imaginable, so they would learn to lean on her. I thought that all those stories in that book were great, but this one really spoke to me, that we never give up, and sometimes we allow our health and things to say, I just can't do that. But if you're familiar with John Wesley at all, you know that he was an incredible servant of God, and his motto was this: do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. And we need to be doing that. We need to be reaching out. And this is not something that's new to us, to hear how we need to do this, how we need to reach out to people. Back in 2003, the book was copyrighted in 2003. So it's not that old when you think about what it's talking about. But there was a book called You're Losing Us, and it had to do with children who were at 10 years of age at that time. And the idea was, how would you help me to be, or where will I be in 10 years? And we've had children in our church. We've had children in this church who at 10 years of age, we're here, we're coming, and are not here anymore. Same thing with any other church. They've had children there, and they're no longer there. But anyway, a lot of the parents and a lot of the people these were things that they were saying about this, and these were quotes from people. Will anyone at this church be a good spiritual model for my children? And another one said, I want my children to understand that their church is just like an extended family that cares for them and loves them. And then another one said, and it was teaching children the way of forgiveness is one of the most important lessons we adults can offer. And if you've been a teacher, you know that. And then someone said, what is the best way for my children to understand what it means to witness? We need to teach witnessing to children. They have all kinds of opportunities. When there's a kid at school that's troubled, they have opportunities to reach out, and they could do it. When a teacher couldn't, a Christian teacher would have difficulty trying to do that. And then another one said, the world my kids are in has spiritual challenges my generation never even thought about. How do we keep from losing our kids? This book was copyrighted in 2013. Is it any different today than what they were saying then? Has it improved? Has it gotten worse? How do we keep from losing sheep that Jesus has instructed us to feed? Loving and serving the Lord means accepting his call to feed my sheep. We must be motivated by an attitude of love. And on John 14:15, Jesus said to his disciples, if you love me, you will do as I command. And as I mentioned earlier, our attitude should be the same as that which Jesus commands us to do. And in order for us to have that positive attitude of love and service, we must let God have his will and way in our lives. We can't say, well, yes, God, I'll do this, but I'm not going to do this, or I can't do this. If God's calling us to do it, he will provide the way. He will provide the ability. He will provide what needs to be done. And I would really like, I wish more people could have heard this, but you know what? One thing they can hear it, and so and that we think about this, and we think about what does our church need to do to reach out and to evangelize. First of all, we need to evangelize and get the people in, and then we need to disciple to get them to become servants of Jesus and to be disciples to them. I'd like for us to stand, and Randy's going to come up and lead us, and I'm going to go over to the piano. But what I'd like for you to do is to think about this song and what you heard and what you might have felt and received in this message this morning when we ask God to have his way. So let's sing that song, Have Thine Own Way, Lord.
What? 480. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine way. Now art thou potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will. While I am waiting, you did answer. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Search me and try me, Master, today. Whiter than snow, first paint of snow, as in thy presence, humbly I am. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Wounded and weary, help me, I pray. Power, all power, surely is thine. Touch me and heal me, Savior divine. Have thine own way, Lord, have thine own way. Hold o'er my being absolute strength. Fill with thy spirit, on thy should sing Christ only always, living in me.
Thank you so much for this day, for the opportunity we have to be in your house. I thank you, Father, for those who have been diligently in serving you by coming here this morning and being here. Lord, we know there are people who are taking much needed vacation, and we know that there are people who are not well and not able to be here But Lord, we think about those who could have been, and Lord, I pray that you speak to their hearts, convict them, Lord, and help them to realize I need to be back in church. I need to be there and worshiping with the people. And Lord, I pray that you would help us to go away from here with hearts of an attitude of love and a desire to serve you and to reach out and to bring people to you. Go with us and watch over us in Jesus' name. Amen.